Okay, maybe third time's a charm. For whatever reason, TikTok or the devil doesn't want me to record this. So I'm going to try again. Third time's a charm. Today's devotion is understood or being understood by Jesus. Hebrews 4:14 through 15. Whenever disaster happens in a friend's life, it's natural to try and offer comfort. But do you ever feel as if you've said the wrong thing? Sometimes expressions of consolation create even more pain. For example, I understand can feel empty if you haven't actually experienced a comparable situation. Yet most of us long to feel understood. And it helps to know that other people have faced similar circumstances. 2 Corinthians 1:3 through 4. Today's passage reassures us that Jesus truly understands since he experienced struggles like ours. In today's passage, the writer of Hebrews refers to Jesus as our high priest. The priests, the Jewish people's bridge to God, offered sacrifices for their sins. Christ not only took on this role, but he also became the sacrifice when he died on the cross. By doing so and dying in our place, Jesus endured great suffering on our behalf. Now he sits on the right hand of the Father in heaven and intercedes for us. What's more, Jesus truly understands our pain and our weakness. Though fully God, he was also fully human and faced the very temptations, the needs, and the hurts that we experience. If you feel alone in the hardship you're facing, recall Jesus' trials and his suffering, and you'll find comfort in his understanding. I remember whenever I first got saved and somebody said, there's nothing that you haven't been through that Jesus didn't go through. And I thought, come on, And that's why I tell you guys it's so important to build that relationship with him, to be in his word, to pray and spend time with him, like a relationship, a personal relationship. Because if you're not in his word and you're not reading and understanding who he is, then you can't understand the things that he is saying. But I thought, how could Jesus really understand the things that I'm going through? But the more that I read his word and the more that I spent time with him, it was like, wow. Jesus' family, his brothers and sisters deserted him, were jealous of him. You don't hear much about Joseph at all. He had a friend, one of the disciples, betray him, totally betray him. The church mock him, hand him over. He was beaten, bloody. People lied about him. He didn't live a glamorous life. But there's not one thing. He experienced grief. He had friends that died. The one thing he didn't experience was marriage, adultery. But he did experience great heartache and pain. anxiety when he was in the garden. And he's sweating droplets of blood and saying, God, take this from me. I know that I have to do this. I really don't want to do this, but I know I must. Disappointment. He asked the disciples, I'm going to go in here, keep watch, pray for me. And he comes out to check on them, and they're sleeping. Can you imagine the disappointment? I just asked you to pray and keep watch, and you fell asleep. So I encourage you to get in the Word and pray. And with everything going on in the world right now, we are in a spiritual warfare. And I keep thinking, there can't be much time left. But a day is as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is a day. But there's a lot of pain and heartache in the world right now. And I hope you have a close friend that you can rely on, that you can call. I have a couple. And I pray that you know Jesus. Because God came down here in human flesh and died on the cross for us so that we might be with him in heaven someday. And if you don't know him, ask somebody about him. Ask me about him. Because I want to see you in heaven someday. Have a great rest of your day.